It's Labor Day weekend, 1974. A time for family, for barbecues, for one last summer adventure before the leaves start to turn. For the Cowden family, Richard, his wife Belinda, and their two young children, 5-year-old David and 5-month-old Melissa, that adventure was a camping trip. They packed up their Ford pickup truck and headed for the remote woods of Carberry Creek, just outside the quiet town of Copper, Oregon. It was supposed to be a simple, peaceful getaway. On Sunday, September 1st, Belinda had plans to have dinner with her mother. It was a standing arrangement, a chance to catch up and show off her beautiful kids. But that Sunday evening, the dinner table remained empty. Richard, Belinda, David, and Melissa never showed up. Belinda's mother, Joyce, started to worry. It wasn't like her daughter to just disappear, to not even call. As the hours turned into a day, and then two, a knot of dread tightened in her stomach. She called the police, and a search was launched. When search parties finally reached the Cowdens campsite, what they found was deeply unsettling. Their truck was there. The tent was still pitched. A half-eaten carton of milk sat out, beginning to spoil in the late summer heat. A diaper lay on the ground, and baby Melissa's bottle was nearby. It was as if the family had simply vanished into thin air, right in the middle of their day. There were no signs of a struggle, no notes, nothing to explain their absence. It was a ghost camp. For months, the search continued. The forests of the Siskiyou National Forest were scoured by volunteers and law enforcement. The community held on to a desperate hope, praying for a miracle. But the woods kept their secrets. The case went cold, leaving a family and a town suspended in a state of agonizing uncertainty. Then 7 months later, in April of 1975, two gold prospectors were exploring a steep, remote ravine about 7 miles from the campsite. There, hidden inside a small cave, they made a horrifying discovery. They found the body of Richard Cowden. He had been shot. Not long after, a little further down the ravine, they found Belinda and young David. They had also met a violent end. The final, heartbreaking piece of the puzzle was found at the very bottom of the ravine. Inside a hollow log, searchers discovered the tiny, skeletal remains of 5-month-old Melissa. The medical examiner determined she had died from a skull fracture. The entire family had been murdered. But by whom? And why? Robbery was ruled out. Richard's wallet, with cash still inside, was found at the campsite. The prime suspect quickly became a man named Dwayne Lee Little, a convicted felon who was seen near the area around the time the Cowdens disappeared. He had even used Richard's credit card after the family vanished. He was convicted of the murders, but incredibly, the conviction was later overturned on a technicality. He was never retried and maintained his innocence until his death. To this day, the Cowden family murders officially remain unsolved, a dark and tragic story haunting the quiet woods of Carberry Creek. A family camping trip that ended in an unimaginable nightmare.